working for money wasn't smart. Like, I could die at any moment, and I better take advantage of the little time I had left, you know? I think that's true regardless of our age.
Exactly.
And I asked myself, "Well, what do you really want to do?" And because I had had that really special experience with LSD previously, I said, "I wanna try that, but I wanna try it in a different setting, in a more ceremonial setting with people and cultures that have been doing this maybe for thousands of years." It seemed a more responsible way to approach it. And so I said, "I wanna go to Peru." Peru just called me. I kept seeing Peru everywhere. I'd go to the grocery store, and the avocados came from Peru. A lot of the produce came from Peru. My clothes were made in Peru, and so it's
Uh-huh.
just synchronicities. And so, okay, it's time to go. And like, it was 2 weeks after the surgery. I was on a plane on my way to my first ayahuasca retreat. I was in a lot of pain still. Like, I couldn't sleep on my right side. I couldn't run. I couldn't swim. But like I told you, I was kind of disappointed with life, and so I thought, well, what if I die when drinking ayahuasca? I'm like, well, it'll be what it'll be. And I didn't even tell the owners of the ayahuasca retreat what I had just gone through, in fear that they wouldn't let me attend. And
Mm.
so, bless their heart, like, that's probably not the right thing to do, but
Now that you
uh
know after running an ayahuasca retreat
yeah.
center.
Yeah, but I guess that's just what I had to do. And I experienced miraculous healing after the first ceremony. 70% of my pain was gone,
Mm,
maybe 80, and after the second ceremony 100% of the pain was gone, and I just started swimming in that river. It's an offshoot of the
wow.
Amazon River. We were deep in the jungle, and yeah, it was an amazing experience. I felt so comfortable with the medicine, with ayahuasca, and the owner could tell how comfortable I was, and so he offered me a job to stay and help him run the center. And I said, "Let me think about it. Let me finish the retreat." And at the end of the retreat, is, yeah, this is what I want to do. I'd like to stay and explore this further.
Wow, that's incredible. I mean, talk about just divine timing of you being exactly where you needed to be. It also comes into mind for me how, like you said, the doctors didn't really take you seriously with the cleansing practices that you had done, but just to see from a pain perspective how psycho emotional pain can be sometimes, and that the spirituality element of it and the cleansing element of it, how significant it can be
Yeah,
for people who aren't getting answers. I think there's a very strong power of combining the power of the advancement of technology of the West and then also the power of the wisdom of indigenous cultures and the East and all that, putting those two together. But sometimes when you're not getting the answers, like, or your pain's not getting recognized or acknowledged by your doctors at home, sometimes there is a power. It's a very empowering experience to know that there's potentially another way that you can go with the support of people who have been doing this for thousands and thousands and thousands of years within their culture. So you decide to stay on to this retreat center in the Amazon. And I know this is something that we wanted to talk a little bit about. Is you mentioned in your story about in Bolivia that you had taken the medicine with you'd taken a different type of medicine called Wachuma or San Pedro with your friends, and part of that medicine had told you, you know what? And same thing, remember you said about your
mhm,
story when you had the DMT
yeah,
was, hey, you're really comfortable up here. Part of your journey is about learning how to be here on this earth and use your
yeah,
gifts and talents to serve this earth that you're on right now. So after running and managing an ayahuasca retreat center in Peru in the Amazon jungle, I'm sure you've learned a lot of lessons about, let's say, the pitfalls of plant medicine or the pitfalls of exploiting plant medicine. It's not the medicine's fault, right? It's more about like the human element of maybe perhaps exploiting it or not knowing enough about it. If you feel comfortable, would you share a little bit about maybe like the highs and lows of running an ayahuasca retreat center?
yes, of course. Yeah, I learned a lot about that in my time there. I was there for a year, and in that year, I drank a little over 100 times
Wow.
and hosted somewhere around 200 people. And so it was full on from the beginning. Like I said, I was very comfortable with the medicine. Like, when I drank it, it seemed like meeting an old friend, and never really had any negative or scary experiences with it. You know, it's funny, when I started drinking the medicine in the jungle, my intention and it doesn't work like this, but this is how I my mind thought back then is, "Oh, after this, I will be enlightened after this ceremony. Oh, this is
Yeah.
the one I can feel it. After this
When this
ceremony."
happens, then this will
Yeah.
happen. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And every ceremony, I mean, not every ceremony was beautiful, some were more mundane, but it was an amazing experience. And throughout the months, what I got most out of the medicine was an ability to observe my thoughts very clearly. And I would have thoughts like, why are you even worried about enlightenment? Who do you think you are to become enlightened, to be enlightened? And then I would see that thought and I'd say, but wait a minute, the masters tell us we already are that, we already are what we seek. And so why am I having this thought?